Hey, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Supreme Medium Diviner. I know it's been a minute. I was looking through everything. I have not posted a video since October the 21st. I did a live like almost 2 Sundays ago, but I haven't posted a video since October the 21st. And I have missed you guys. I'm just trying to get back on track. If you didn't know, not too long after that, I had gotten sick. I was sick for a little bit going into mid-November, early November. So I was just trying to give my body a time to adjust and rest and listen to my body. So I stopped doing a lot of stuff. Then, basically, I'm just giving y'all a life update. I've been really busy with my clients, booked and busy. That's a good thing. And trying to finish up my last classes, for funeral directing, and I'm already finished. So I had to get my priorities together. And so the videos were just kind of in the background. So we back again. I'm back. And I'm going to be trying to give y'all a video, at least 2 videos a week, okay? Because I know you guys are asking, I miss your videos. I ain't gone nowhere. I just had to prioritize some things. I ain't going nowhere. YouTube, I'm going to be here on YouTube, okay? But when you see me gone like that for a minute, it's just because I'm doing some things and I got to get back to it. So I'm back, okay? So with that being said, I want to talk about Diddy in this documentary that is on Netflix. Now, the whole channeling with Diddy and all that kind of stuff like that, I've already done that. I've done that years ago, most recently when he first went to jail. So it's overkill at this point. I've told you guys everything that you basically need to know is overkill. What I want to focus on is the example that I saw with Diddy that I can use to tell you not to make the same mistakes when it comes to you being aligned with the universe. Okay? Before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you can be notified when I drop a video. Please like, comment, and share. Beware of scammers. I do not have WhatsApp. You do have to go to my website to book. There's a clickable link of my website in my bio. I also will put in the description, I always put my website, my email, and also the website if you're needing Reiki services, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Like I was saying, the whole thing with me channeling, this is not really a channeling because it's overkill at this point. Even the documentaries, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, we know this. I watched all 4 episodes, and I was curious just to see, what they were going to say this time. And as I'm watching these episodes and I'm seeing this footage of him, doing these interviews, and the present time, in September before he got arrested, and just looking at him, and I'm just looking at him and I'm just he's acting as if nothing's going on, the delusion, right? As if he's not this person that people are saying. I do think that the documentary, some things were amped up for theatrics, but in the whole grand scheme of things, he is who they say he is. That's evident, right? But with that being said, he was successful. So with that being said, that means he had a gift. He had something that he was supposed to do, right? You don't be that successful without having some type of gift. But the problem is he didn't know his gift. He was not aligned with the universe, okay? He had an idea of what he wanted to do, and he was able to prosper off of that, but he wasn't aligned. And the reason why he's a great example is because there are a lot of people, probably over half the world, who's in the same situation. Let me give you an example. You're in a job, let's say you work with children. You're a teacher, okay? You teach. And you're not feeling fulfilled, but you like to teach. But working in the school system is not fulfilling you. So you're trying to figure out what it is that I need to do next. And you're thinking, okay, I need a career change. Let me tell y'all what that is. a lot of times, well, 99.9% of the times, people will do something that has to do with their gift, but they will start out in something that's like just to get them started. It's not where you need to be. It's not your destiny. So say you are a school teacher, you love to teach, but you're getting tired of being in the school system. What that is telling you is that in the school system, it's not where your teaching skills are supposed to be used. So you need to find out, how are you supposed to use your gift of teaching, right? So if you look at the documentary, Diddy, he started throwing these parties. First of all, he was in college and he dropped out. He started throwing these parties, and that's how he got known. He could throw like good parties. And what does that mean? Like, you're a host. What did he go to jail for? These freak outs and stuff like that, right? He's good at bringing people together. He's good at recognizing talent. He's good. He had a star quality about him where he could reach the masses, okay? People gravitated towards him. If you watch the documentary, just being in his presence, people would do anything because they're in his presence. And I think it had more to do with just, who he was. It was just that, people were like drawn to them. They thought that they could become somebody because that's what he put out there, right? But what would happen? He did his artists wrong. He didn't treat them right. Bogus contracts. If you watch the documentary, everything that, mostly went on, and that was not even half of it. So what that says is that he was not aligned with the universe because he was not using his gift of bringing people together, his gift of helping the collective community, finding talent, letting people who look like us be able to have a voice. He did not use that gift in the right way. So what has happened? He got into some things. He turned into a person that, that's despicable. You understand what I'm saying? And look where he's at right now. So this is what I try to get y'all to understand, is that being in alignment does not mean fame, okay? It does mean fortune, okay? It does mean fortune, but it does not mean fame. I don't care if you help but only one person with your gift. If you're in alignment, that's what you do. That's how you stay good. That's how you stay protected. That's how you keep elevating, okay? So let's get back to Diddy. He had a lot of power, right? When you're in alignment and you know your destiny, your gift, that empowers you. That power is held in the middle of your stomach where your navel is. That's your solar plexus. If you listen to the documentary, they kept saying, he had a God complex. He had a lot of power. People allowed him to do a lot of things. He was very intimidating, okay? Manipulative. This is how he used his power. So what does that tell you? If you know about chakras, he had an imbalance, okay? He had a blockage, right? Now, here's the thing that people need to realize. Now, I'm using Diddy as an example. But when business is not good, when your career is not going good, when you're good at what you do, but you're not making good decisions, you're not morally right, you're unethical, there's something wrong with your solar plexus. There's something wrong with your power. Something is causing you to have this blockage, and you got to get down to the origin of it. See, with Diddy, it wasn't just the fact that he had got this God complex and he thought he was bigger than the program. Because in a way, he was bigger than the program. He had that power, right? It wasn't him. That's what I'm trying to say. It was something that was on him that made this happen. Something that was on him that caused opposition. Something that was on him with that blockage on his solar plexus. He couldn't see his true calling. He couldn't see how to use his true gift. So what does this mean for individuals? It means that, you can't be creative. You don't know the next thing to do. No matter what you try, the business is not thriving. If it is thriving, it's negativity around it. You understand what I'm saying? So like Puffy, he got a lot of money, but look at the things that was going on around him. Like, is you good? Like, how are you living with all this negativity? And when things like this go on, I kid you not, there's something on you. You understand what I'm saying? There's something on you. There's something using you to do this, okay? Because when you are aligned, things like this don't go on, okay? It just does not go on. So you need to really investigate yourself. You need to really research yourself and look at what's going on with you. When it comes to your solar plexus and your power, the way that you can pinpoint what might be the issue is how you feel emotionally. Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you happy? And yes, you can be overly happy. That's an issue. That's an issue too. Because when you're overly happy, it can have you in like a delusional state. You don't see what's real. Okay. Being overly happy means that you're putting up a front, but you've done it so much that you need a reality check. And I'm being serious when I say this. So yes, there's a such thing as an imbalance with being happy. Okay. Not saying that you walk around here sad all the time, but it means that you're not seeing reality. Okay. You have blockers. You're in delusion. You have created this space where you're in make-believe and thinking that you're happy all the time. That's not the case. So the key to investigating your solar plexus to see what could be going on is you need to look at your emotions, okay? Because that plays a major role. Why do you need to look at your emotions? You need to narrow down the one emotion that stands out the most, and you need to narrow that down, and you need to know why is it like that, okay? And so how do you figure this out? You can get my services, my mediumship channeling. You can get Reiki. There's typically something that is causing this, and it can go all the way back to your childhood, any time in your life, but something is causing this. So going back to Diddy, whatever was causing him to do this, whatever was on his solar plexus, it won. It was able to use him the way that it wanted to use him, okay? Because they use you. It uses you for a reason. It has an objective. Diddy lost because he was not able to use his gift to his fullest potential and be aligned and actually do what he was supposed to do, okay? He lost. Even though he had fame, even though he had fortune, he lost. It won. And this happens with a lot of us. If your business is doing good, you're maintaining, but you're still not exactly where you want to be, you need to investigate that. That lies within your solar plexus, okay? So I want y'all to take away from this, especially with us in the last month of the last quarter of the year. You really need to investigate your solar plexus. This is your power. Things come in to steal your power, okay? Your gifts are supposed to be used for something, all right? So this thing is coming in because it can use you because you have this power, but it's going to use it how it wants to use it. And that, I'm going to tell you now, that is not in your best interest. It is not to serve you, okay? So the key to what I'm saying is you have to make sure that you're aligned. So you're going to say, Tammy, how do I make sure that I'm aligned? Ancestral worship. Y'all probably always like, man, she always talking about ancestral worship. This is why. This is the first level. You don't get nowhere without ancestral worship, okay? Now, in my channeling, I told y'all Diddy was into some things, right? I told y'all that I was seeing Urzuli and things like that. So he was worshiping some deities, but guess what? We don't worship deities. We are the deity. We come from that. That's his first mistake, okay? Worshiping, they don't get you nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? And then if he did not fall in that line, he's calling on something. He summoned something. He just like he thought how he could treat everybody else. He thought he could treat us early. He summoned something, but it don't work like that. Okay, you don't call on any deity if they ain't called you. You're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for that, right? And if y'all have been following me, he was still trying to get help, right? But there were two deities going against each other. And it wasn't working for him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a dangerous game he was in, a dangerous game that he was in, okay? You got to understand, even though everything was dismissed except for that one thing, that does not mean that he won. He's going to still be in turmoil. I told y'all he ain't coming back because, of what was done to him. But take away from that, he's still going to be in turmoil because that thing that's on his solar plexus is that's how it's living. That's how it's living, right? So that's the same way with you. If you're not striving where your power should be and you're not aligned, whatever that's what's on there is it's feeding off of that negativity, okay? Whatever it can use you for. So in order to conquer that, you have to be doing ancestral worship. Now, ancestral worship does not take away what's on your solar plexus. What it does is that it leads you to where you need to be aligned. It leads you to your purpose. It leads you to your destiny. It leads you to hearing your calling, right? And when you start to hearing your calling, you're just going to elevate more and more. If you're putting in the work and you're doing what your ancestors are saying do, that you're letting them lead you, you're just going to get more elevated spiritually, right? And get where you need to be. Now, the key thing that I told you guys is that when you're aligned, nothing you're good, okay? Like nothing bad can happen. That does not mean you don't go through anything. So why am I saying this? Because if you're aligned, eventually it's going to show you what's on you, okay? As long as you're doing the work, you stay aligned, you are going to see what is on you and what needs to be removed. You're going to be led to find this information out. So that's why I'm so heavy on ancestral worship. That's why I'm so heavy on alignment, because alignment, by getting alignment through ancestral worship, you're able to see your obstacles. You're able to fight your obstacles. You're able to be one with the universe, and you don't have to come back and do this again. Diddy gonna be back here doing this again. And if he don't get it right, ain't no telling what's gonna be waiting for him. You understand what I'm saying? You repeat. If you're going through loops in life, I'm talking about you're wearing the same thing that you wore a year before, the same day the next year. You're going through a loop. Okay, you're missing something. Okay, Spirit is trying to remind you. Okay, let's bring it back. You missed it. We back here again. What is it? Okay, what is it? And the main thing that y'all got to do is get whatever is on your solar plexus, whatever is holding your solar plexus. So it's more than just a simple blockage. It's actually something using you, and you have to find out what it is. And I wanted to use Diddy because he was a great example of what this looks like. Now, we're on a very smaller scale than him. So like I said, investigate yourself. The main thing that you want to look for is how you feel emotionally. Which emotion stands out the most? That's the one you want to tackle, because that's what the thing is using the most to use you, okay? You do need to get a channeling to see what's being seen. And then you need to get Reiki service to remove it, okay? We're talking about real things here. We're talking about real entities. We're talking about real bad spirits. They're there. And I want to bring this to y'all's attention because this is a very real thing. And if you want to go into the new year, the fourth quarter, getting your business, your career, whatever it is, where getting on the right foot, you need to get to the bottom of this, okay? So the message here today is to focus on that solar plexus. Make sure that you're doing ancestral worship so you can be aligned. Find out what's using your power so it can be removed and you can be yourself and strive in your gift that you're supposed to do here, okay? All right. So please put your comments, your questions on here. Share this. And let me know y'all's thoughts. If you do have some questions and you want to email me, that's fine. I don't read no long emails though. But if you're questioning like what service you should get for this, that's going to be my channeling services. And you would need to follow up with Reiki service to go ahead and get it the energy back right. Okay. All right. Well, I hope this gave you guys some clarity on how to work with your solar plexus and your power and get you geared up to get ready to get into the first quarter of the year. So I will talk to you guys next time and see you on the astro.